You're listening to the 3 Pillars of Success, a podcast that inspires people of all walks of life to gain perspective on what it means to succeed. My name is Geraldine Convento, and I'm best known for entrepreneurship, my skills in web presence, and SEO. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Hey y'all, how you doing? It's me, Geraldine, the entrepreneur guide, web and SEO expert, here for another episode of the 3 Pillars of Success. And I'm really excited to have my special guest, David Way. How you doing?
So good. Not just good. I have to put a so in front of it.
I love that. So let's tell the audience who you are, where you're from, and what you do for a living.
My name is David Way. I'm the 6'4" China giant, the mental oriental. I'm born and raised in Richmond, California. What I do for a living is I touch lives. I'm the executive director of a wellness ministry based in Oakland, California. We call ourselves WuDang West Cultural Heritage Center.
Awesome. And you had this kind of flow in your introduction and a little bit of rhymes. Did you used to be an MC or just a big fan of hip hop?
Well, yeah, of course, big fan of hip hop, no doubt. But I've been introducing, so I introduce a lot. So I've gotten pretty good at the introducing.
All right. So what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun is I practice my intros. No. I drink tea. I love drinking tea. That is how I have fun. Yeah, as boring as that sounds.
Sounds good.
I should elaborate. Yeah, it's kind of the nature of these things. So sure, I love drinking the tea. I love the flavors. I love the profiles. I love the ritual of it. I love slowing down, breaking out the tea, smelling the tea, waiting for the water to boil, listening to the water boil, smelling the first brew, tasting the liqueur, feeling the temperature go down, following the temperature down in my body, and noticing how I receive. It's an opportunity to engage my 5 senses and to kind of slow down and set a tone for my day. If I do it early in the morning, I notice that it sets a tempo and a pace for the rest of my day. If I do it in the afternoon or evening, it helps me recalibrate and get back into a smooth pace. So what I do for fun is I like to maintain a smooth, slow, steady groove by constantly brewing tea all day.
Now, what does success mean to you?
Success, to me, in our modern era, common culture, we often associate success or easily associate success with material abundance. However, I think success could kind of be like a report card of sorts where sure you have financial abundance, but at the sake of your mental health or your physical health or your social health or your domestic health. And so the risk to reward is a conversation there. And so in the conversation of success, then we want to be successful across the board. We want to get straight A's. So sure, financial health, but also domestic health, social. I want to get straight A's across everything. And that's what I would term success, where we don't have to compromise one element of our life for another. We can enjoy our potential and enjoy full expression in all facets of the human experience. Success.
And if you were to choose 3 pillars to attribute to your success, what would they be?
I'm going to do an easy cop-out answer and just use the principles from my school. Integrity, humility, sincerity, show up, shut up, add value. I think that this is a very, very solid standard for adding value to your life and to others' life. And the way my teacher would put it, he said, this is the work of a saint, or in more of our common vernacular, this would be the role of a superhero or of a comic book hero, if you will. The hero just shows up when they're needed, they provide what's needed, and then they leave, not wanting any thank you or payment. They just show up, they shut up, and they added value. And when we see this in real life, oh my God, the guy just showed up out of nowhere, climbed into the burning building, saved the baby, and left. These are the people that we celebrate. These are the people that touch our lives. These are the people that motivate us, the people that just show up, shut up, and add value. So if there were three rules or three principles or values, it would be that: show up, shut up, add value. Integrity, humility, sincerity.
That speaks a lot to being of service to others. I guess that's another paraphrased way of saying that. And one thing that I've gotten to experience within my life and I've observed with other people is that how fulfilling that is to be able to provide something that someone else needs and for it to feel that appreciation in that moment and to see where else you could be of service.
Absolutely. And to that end, I'm realizing that in whole new ways as a father. To be able to serve and provide for my family gives me such a depth of satisfaction. And from Richmond, hip hop, we aren't into raising families and getting married and having offspring and progeny. No, no, no. We want to drive our foreign domestic cars and we want to live on the fast lane. And so that was what I was influenced by. And now that I'm of age and I'm married and have a child, like, oh my God, this is so much more satisfying than any of that flashy stuff hip hop sold me on. And so here I am in this realization, and I look back at all my famous hip hop stars, and they're married with kids. The jig is up. They lied. They knew all along, and they kept the secret for themselves. Snoop Dogg, one of my icons, married with kids, right? Too Short, married with kids. E40, married with kids. All these stars that told us to be players and pimps, they steered us wrong.
Facts. Well, what it is that we still look up to these heroes now, but when we're of certain age, teens all the way up into our 20s, married with kids on a rap song, on a hip hop song, wouldn't really resonate because it's not really what we think about. So, as I'd say, as opposed to them selling us a story that isn't really true, it's really speaking to their target audience. And that's me being the marketer. But yeah, I mean, it works. And I do really enjoy seeing musicians and artists reveal their personal lives and who they are behind the music, because it really showcases that, yeah, I do this and I'm really famous and this is what I talk about, but I also have another life that is somewhat relative to other people. It's just I have way more money than the people who listen to my music. It's a very interesting question. Okay, or a very interesting answer, I should say, and that's never come up on the 3 Pillars of Success podcast. So that's why I love doing this podcast, because everybody has a different perspective and these conversations are really fun. So that being said, what's a roadblock that you had to overcome on your path to success, and how did you overcome that?
A roadblock was trusting my process. And the way I overcame it was just letting the process unfold, because you had no other choice but to let time happen. But many instances where I may find myself in a stumbling block or in a hiccup, and maybe my dreams are averted or diverted for a little bit of time, it could actually be a blessing. The common story is, oh man, I caught every red light on my way over here in traffic. But I come to realize by the time I got there, it's because I could have avoided an accident, or I could have something. And so it's almost as if our roadblocks are actually our blessings. Our burdens are our blessings. And so if we can focus less on this desired outcome and find more value in the mundane step-by-step, day-to-day of it, enjoy the journey, if you will. I think that would be my biggest obstacle, is just reminding myself to trust the process and realize that what I'm going through right now could be very, very valuable when I get to where I want to go. And if I just get to where I want to go, I might miss this stuff So did I over-explain that?
No, that was great. I believe that it's exactly what people needed to hear.
Yeah, there was a meme, our culture is really into memes, and it's just 2 pictures. And one picture, it's the flat tire, right? And something stuck in a flat tire. And then the second picture, the person takes it out. What is it? It's a Buddha. If you're familiar with, in Thailand, they have those little baby Buddhas. They're small, like the size of my pinky, but it's very intricately carven and drawn, and people put them in their cars. They're ornate and whatever. That's what flattened his tire. And so it's like, oh, this burden, but then it's a blessing.
What advice would you give to anyone looking to achieve success in their life?
Spend time with the people that you want to emulate. Don't just be in your head. Everyone will say, oh, talk about it, or someone will say, don't talk about it, or someone will say vision board, or someone will say, just spend time with people that are doing it and make friends with people that are doing what you want to do and work towards what you want to do. That would be my advice. Just surround yourself with what you want to be. What's the notion? You are the company you keep. You are your 6 closest friends. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be about something amazing, then you just go and surround yourself with what's amazing. And by virtue of being there, something will happen.
Well, that concludes today's episode of the 3 Pillars of Success. Thanks so much for being on the show. It's such a great conversation. All right, y'all. Well, as you know, we're here every single Wednesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, all of the places to listen to a podcast. So please make sure to follow, rate this podcast, leave a comment. All of those things helps more people discover the podcast. And we'll look forward to talking with you next week. Bye.